So this one's not that good, so I'm gonna quickly redo it, but I just wanted to share it with you guys real quick. Um, so we have a kind god and a fallen guardian want to rise to the challenge of a laboratory, but it will gain the attention of their enemy. This is gonna be good. Oh god, why do I look so red? Anyway, good morning everyone. Just want to apologize real quick. Yesterday was my anniversary with my boyfriend, and I didn't realize that I actually had to go live last night because I was focused on my anniversary. So I'll be going live sometime actually no, because you guys are seeing this tomorrow. But as I'm recording this, it's going live today. Anyway, if you guys subscribe to the YouTube or follow my Instagram, then you'd be able to see notification for going live. You'll be able to rewatch the live afterwards on YouTube, because it'll be something that's saved on the channel, like as you've seen with my other novels as well. But yeah, why do I look so red? Anyway, this prompt is called. This prompt is a kind god and a fallen guardian want to rise to the challenge of a laboratory, but it will gain the attention of their enemy. Now, this story I'm not as proud of, because I was kind of more focused on the word count, making sure it doesn't go too over 1,000 words, but it doesn't go too under it either and is too short. So I'm not entirely sure if I'm gonna include it in my collection of short stories books that I'm going to publish eventually. But I'll think about it. I might just leave a note on it saying I'm not as proud of it or something like that, but if I'm not proud of it, then I probably shouldn't publish it. Anyway, so the title of this one is Give Everything, End Up With Nothing. So let's get into reading it. A door off in the distance slams open, and in comes marching L, as pissed off as can be. He glares at G as he proceeds to look through and grant people's prayers, smiling with a few soft tears in his eyes. L stomps over, slamming down a piece of paper on their conjoined desk. What the fuck is this? L shouts with a deep voice, instantly snapping G back to reality. With a wave of G's hands, all of the gold and white hovering papers around him disappear, and he steps over to L, gazing down to the sheet of blue paper. New invention. Technology to make all your dreams come true. Blah blah blah. Just believe in science and logic. G's face scrunches and he looks up at L with a confused expression. What the? How did you not know about this already and stopped it? L yells, picking up the paper and shoving it in G's chest, then takes a seat at his desk, making an eerie screech ring throughout the building. I swear to God, now is a perfectly good time to say that. L practically screams into his palms as he covers his face. Holding the paper out in front of him, flattening out again, G rereads and rereads again. Then, with a sigh, he moves over to his desk and takes a seat, placing the paper out flat in front of him with a deep expression of contemplation. We really have fallen, huh? G mumbles, flattening his hands out in front of him, and begins gazing all around at his depressing surroundings. A dark warehouse. That is where they are now, forced to reside after G has chosen to grant too many prayers. The only lights they have are the ones on their chipped wooden desks that face each other. That's all that they have left. One warehouse, 2 desks, 2 lamps, 2 chairs. And they both know that G would even give up those in an instant if someone really needed it. Yeah, and I wonder who caused this to happen. L slams his fist on his desk, making the entire setup shake. If you hadn't tried to take over every department, then this wouldn't have happened. Not everyone should have their wish granted. Prayer. It's a wish. They've gotten greedy and entitled because you kept on giving them language to them. L rolls his eyes. Almost nothing these people ask for nowadays are actually things these people need. Hell, another eye roll. I bet every single person out there is just slowly making their way to a laboratory because what they have is just never enough. But I want all my subjects to live their best lives possible. G holds up the paper, staring at it with deep contemplation. Al exhales a groan. They would if they weren't constantly trying to get their hands on material items or praying for things that require just a little dedication and hard work. Well, what do you think we should do about this then? G flips the paper to face L, and he takes it. He shrugs. Blow them up? No. We could... He cuts himself off, shaking his head. No, that'll never work. Well, what is it? We could challenge them. How so? Well, there are a few different ways we can go about this, he starts, raising his eyebrows at the words upon the flyer. Help the population see that it's actually more rewarding to earn something instead of just having it handed to them. Or... That sounds pretty difficult to do though. Like you said it yourself, they've gotten greedy. G places his head in his hands and once again examines his surroundings. Glad you can finally admit it to yourself. L smiles, but immediately stops himself before G notices and goes back to his serious expression. Or we could attempt to halt their operations long enough for people to believe that they're just a bunch of scammers, which they could be. But seeing technology these days, it's entirely likely that's legitimate. But I doubt anyone will ever pray for something like that. L fidgets with the cord of his lamp, focusing on the hard metallic balls, warm with the radiating light. I've never used up any of my yearly prayers before. But G sits up straight, eyes now wide. That goes against your morals. Actually, no. It goes against your entire purpose. You're right. Though I do know something even more likely to happen. What's that? Hardcore believers that take forever to adapt. L starts. It's highly likely that they'll pray for operations to stop, or end altogether. Plus, you and I both know that they may even wish death and suffering upon the people within that laboratory. G lets out a deep breath, shaking his head. I've never liked those sorts of prayers. They're even more heartbreaking than the ones of people begging me to save their loved ones. You know, the ones you demand be ignored. You can't save them all. You must sacrifice some in order to save others. You know, like with what you've done to your family. That's enough of that. You started it. Whatever, let's just get started. Started on what, oh holy ruler? Stop. No. Excuse me? I said no, L grimaces, glaring into G's eyes. We're in this mess because of you. Because you've decided to demote me because you don't have the maturity and understanding of how the system works. I had looked out for these people for lifetimes. I mastered and understand the system better than anyone. I've allowed the overpopulation just to make sure you would stop complaining, which inevitably led to even more problems among the people, and all of a sudden, we were getting overwhelmed, and you just couldn't bear to allow anyone to be unhappy. So you just gave them everything till we had nothing. So no, I won't stop, because you didn't bother to stop and contemplate your actions, and L's eyes go wide, forcing G to question. What is it? Flicking his wrist, a bunch of red and black papers appear around L, and after a few silent seconds of reading, he smiles maliciously. This is perfect. Why can't you ever smile normally? We've received our prayers, and this one in particular is especially dark. He reaches up at one of the pages floating around him, and goes to hand it to G. No, G crosses his hands in front of him and pushes the paper back to L. I always get nightmares when reading prayers that make you smile. Just give me the summary. G. So not even Dear G or anything. They're just the most demanding in this instance. I love it. Yeah, I get it. Go on. The people on the serve have really gone mad, especially with that brand new, stupid, idiotic, satanic laboratory that is attempting to steal souls, blah blah blah, Starbucks workers, blah blah, gouging eyes out, blah blah blah, gays, blah blah. Oh, here it is. Please burn down the laboratory, and if your holiness is unwilling, then at least please murder all the scientists that dare to sicken this world. I'm not killing anyone. Well, they did say at some point to cause a power outage, close to the start actually, though she did go pretty in depth on the type of suffering she wants these people to go through, and told us exactly what we should do. L adds the page back up to the floating papers around him. It's basically just a mess all throughout. G slowly blinks, then raises his eyebrows. I'd rather not go about the second part, but honestly, the first part is exactly what I should do. Even more maliciously, L grins from ear to ear. Great, I'll call Zeus. No. And so that is the short story titled Give Everything, End Up With Nothing. I'm going to start editing and see if I can try going live soon in order to publish my next novels. So I hope y'all have enjoyed this this recording, short story, and I hope y'all have enjoyed the rest of your week of creativity. And goodbye. Have a great rest of your days.